Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Questbound Reader, and thank you for being an honorary member of the Questbound gang. Guys, I'm excited to have you here today. We're talking about a very important and very dear series to me, and that is The Wandering Inn, yet again by popular demand. Guys, you apparently love The Wandering Inn, so here's more content. I busted my behind trying to finish book 4 for today, and I did. I finished it last night, so let's talk about The Wandering Inn book 4, titled Winter Solstice. Stick around. Alrighty, so what is this book about? Guys, parentheses. If you have not already started reading The Wandering Inn, first of all, I don't know what you're doing on this video. You should go read The Wandering Inn so you know what I'm talking about here. But second of all, please invest your resources into this series. I don't know who Paridaba is, never met the person. I just want to like tap them on the back and be like, hey, good job. Like you are kicking ass fantastically through this like process of writing this series. Like I implore you, keep writing at the pace you're doing. It's I don't know how you're doing it. It's phenomenal, but I can't wait to keep reading the content you're putting out. Close parentheses. All right, let's start with this. The Wandering in Winter Solstice is the middle section, a huge flashback to Pisces and Saria when they were in Windstrom, right? When they got accepted into Windstrom, their trials through Windstrom, and what led up to the event of each person being who they were. Now, I'm going to keep this first section spoiler free, but I feel like if you're here, we might as well get into some spoilers since this is book 4. So, what is the start? Well, the start, we start hearing about Rags. And Rags has quickly become one of my favorite characters in The Wandering Inn. If you guys don't know Rags, Rags is a goblin, and she doesn't have all the skills necessary to be a successful goblin yet. But little by little, she's acquiring more skills, and she's gotten better at her craft, which is being a chieftain. In this book, you see her upgrade and get a little bit stronger than in the previous books, which is great because she's trying to lead this huge clan and she has no idea what she's doing. Now, that's about as spoiler free as it's going to get. Let's get into some spoilers and let's get into the nitty gritty. Now, I will keep these spoilers light. I won't give you all the details. I do want you to have some fun reading this, right? But let's get into what I really enjoyed about the book so far. Starting again with Rags. So, at the end of the last book, you see Rags busting out of this giant mountain full of higher and advanced goblins that are really strong, but she claims that they're not goblin. Following this, she goes and she starts helping a city, right? She helps Esfelm, however you pronounce that. God, forgive my pronunciation; it is abysmal. Anywho, so she progresses with her army, and then she decides that she's going to try to be innovative and stick to her nature and as a true goblin, right? And she starts crafting like pikes, and she starts trying to train her warriors. Fine and dandy, I loved it. And again, there's a lot more that happens, right? But we're keeping it light. Fast forward to the Windstrom days, and you have like 6 or 7 chapters dedicated just to Pisces and Saria. Pisces, to my surprise, apparently was a super cool guy, right? He was very popular, a genius, like we knew he was at this point, and he was popular with everyone, right? His teachers liked him, the students liked him, he had a lot of friends. Saria, on the other hand, was not as gifted as Pisces, and she struggled quite a bit more until she finally was at the level where she could, you know, carry herself through. Now, Saria does find a mentor here. And I'm not going to mention what happens to her mentor, just that her mentor does teach her a lot about ice magic. You also get introduced to, we had hints of this character before, but you get introduced to who Cognita is and what her goal, what she's all about, right? And how she came to be. And there's a very strange dynamic between Cognita and all the stronger mages in the academy. But Cognita befriends one person, and that's Pisces. Cognita also helps Pisces out significantly, but you'll have to read along to figure out why. So, what happens? Um, we noticed before this book that there's always been this tension between Saria and Pisces. And you're like, well, what the heck? Like, these guys went through so much together. Why are they arguing? Why are they fighting constantly? Like, what's going on? Why like the weird tension? The Windstrom Days arc talks very well about it. So, And this is going to be the biggest spoiler I'm going to give you guys, which is already something you should know by now. But nobody likes necromancers. And Pisces had to become a necromancer, or had to show the world he was a necromancer in order to stay alive from X or Y events that were occurring at the time. So, without giving you too much detail, everybody shunned Pisces immediately, except for Cognita. Now, and another side character that we haven't been introduced to prior to this, and she is mentioned briefly in one or two of the chapters. I think I'll give you what I think about this. Number one, it's messed up, right? Saria stopped talking to Pisces because he was a necromancer. She found it disgusting. She found it, immoral. She just disliked it, and she disliked the fact that Pisces kept it a secret. Why do I think this is messed up? Nobody liked Saria in the academy, or before getting to the academy, aside from Pisces. He was literally the first human friend she ever had. And then she pretty much up and like, hey, screw you. You didn't tell me you're a necromancer. I think it's disgusting. Like, I'm not your friend anymore. And she tells him straight up, I don't think we're friends anymore. And that hurt Pisces because Pisces had never been like that with her when nobody liked her because she was a half elf. Messed up. However, the story progresses. After the Windstrom arc, which was phenomenal, we get into Eren and Ryoka. So, very interesting. Ryoka meets Locken in person, and they share where they're from. Ryoka does like a Google Translate version of German. He speaks German to her, so nobody else understands. It's great. She gets the appraisal for other things at the horns of Hammerhead. Correct me. I don't know how to just the horns. Saria and the group, right? Had gotten from Albez, and she does what's best for them. That's all I'm going to say there. I think after that is probably the most fascinating part of this book. So the start, I was at a 5 out of 5. The Windstrom arc kind of brought it down for me a little. I didn't like some of the things that happened, and I brought it down to like a 4 out of 5 for me. But then, what happens when Ryoka goes and leaves um, Laken and the appraiser for the enchanter for all the tools is what really set it apart. So Laken asks Ryoka to deliver some food um, to his village, right? And he does. She does. She runs. She delivers that. She stays the night. Now, why is this book called Winter Solstice? Precisely because there is a winter solstice, right? And then Ryoka is with Ivaleth, the fairy, the fae, and they're running to Liskor, right, to meet up with Eren, and we'll get to Eren in a second. And during this journey is probably the most interesting thing I've ever read in The Wandering Inn. Right, during the winter solstice, you see the fae, Ivaleth, be very wary about the darkness around them, and some events happen, and it leads Ryoka to a campfire, and she meets some creatures that the Fae is, I wouldn't say scared of, but very, very wary of. And they pose Ryoka a question. They propose a question, right? And they give her an option. That's all I'm saying about that. You have to read it. Like, it's freaking incredible. Fast forward to the other end of the world in Liskor, where Eren is. Gosh, Eren to me is the biggest airhead in this book after like Leonette. But in this series, in this like ending of the book, right? And she was on fire. Like, she was intelligent. She stuck to her nature, right? But it surprised me. I think Aaron, Aaron is like Santa Claus come to Liskor, right? She decides to throw this huge Christmas party. After the Christmas party is over, and the winter solstice is here, she gets visited by three wise men. Let's go with that. And each of them offers her something in return for her hospitality. I'm not going to tell you what choice she made, but she did get something out of it. Something she has no idea what it is. Guys, the ending of this book was scary. Like, not scary where you're like, oh crap, like this is like frightening. But if you get immersed into this world, like it was scary. The things Ryoka had to deal with, like scary. Aaron, in her own way, it was like kind of mystifying. It was very magical, right? So, which plays a lot with her new class, right? Magical Innkeeper. And to me, it was just like incredible. I really think this book ended in such a like the ending was like a 6 out of 5 for me. So I bumped it right back up to a 4.5 out of 5, which is what I rated this book, a 4.5 out of 5. Guys, please invest your resources in getting this book. I said it at the start. I'm going to say it again. Read The Wandering Inn. Let's go on a journey together. Let's talk about The Wandering Inn. Right? I can't wait to share more about this with you guys. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a pause from The Wandering Inn because I can't just invest everything into The Wandering Inn. Although I already downloaded Last Light into my Kindle, and I can't wait to start reading it. But as I promised you guys, my next one is going to be Empire of the Vampire. Then I'll start The Will of the Many, hopefully, and then I'll get right back into The Wandering Inn. So please join me on this journey. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about our favorites, and let me know. Let me know what you think of The Wandering Inn if you're already here, right? If you're caught up or if you're ahead of me, don't spoil it for me. But let me know what you think, right? Uh, and if you haven't started, please, I implore you, read The Wandering Inn. You guys are gonna freaking love it, man. All right, that's all for me for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of the above. Uh, we've grown the page, right? We're at 28 subscribers. I've noticed that the more popular videos are usually about The Wandering Inn, but I'm not just gonna appeal to popularity. I am gonna stay true to myself and keep the order which I said I was gonna read, and hopefully you guys like it and hopefully you guys appreciate that and you share this with your friends. But yes, stick around, guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.